recording it here as well. Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I'm Linda Brubaker, and this is Career Search Lunch and Learn. I'm a career coach, a career transitions coach, and this is our opportunity to provide you with resources, with support, with networking, with kind of information that you need to help you move on to that next forever role. Now, I know you don't really want to be here, and our goal is to give you enough tips and support so that you can move on and share that information, share that joy, share that success with the rest of us. I've been doing this now for 8 years, actually these Lunch and Learns as well for 8 years. And I've been this career transition coach during that time frame. During that time, 918 of the people that I've worked with have gotten offers. Now, I say that only to tell you that based on the information that I provide, the resources, the networking, the support, the fact that I was in HR and as a recruiter, both internally and externally, so a headhunter, that I managed recruiters, I have an HR business partner and a hiring manager, the information that we bring you today is based not only on our backgrounds, on our experience, on what we know works, but on the research that we continue to do and the contacts we continue to make throughout the hiring industry, throughout the HR experience, throughout all of these different worlds to help you succeed in your job search. I do this as my way of giving back. So here's my only sales pitch, is that I also work with people on individual one-on-one basis, and I've worked with several of you as well, to be able to provide some of that individualized coaching. I will put my information in the chat, and if anybody would like to reach out and work with me, I would love that. That's one of the ways that I support this program. But I work with people in career transition to help them identify their transferable skills, what's in it not only for you, but what's in it for them, so that you can move forward. I do a lot of interview coaching, a lot of LinkedIn profile and engagement, as well as resume system and job search strategy. Today's job search strategy is really what we're all about. There sounds like there's somebody who's unmuted. Would you please mute? Because we have so many people in the room, it's really important that we not hear all that background noise. And if we see you unmuted and you're not going to be talking, we will mute you instead. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Sue, who is here to support us as well, and let her introduce herself. Remember to introduce yourselves in the chat.
Hi, everyone. I'm known as Sue Mentors in the virtual world. Call me Sue Mentors, call me the mentor with pom-poms. I bring these so that we remember to celebrate. First of all, you're here. You may not want to be, but you're ahead of the people that are sitting home, sulking, trying to figure out how to apply, needing help and not getting it, because you're here taking control of your professional development. I run a global mentoring consultancy, which means I'm on calls all around the world and help people who have the same issues that I hear from you all here. Like Linda, we do this because we have curated information that comes in. I learned from Linda. I learned from so many other people. Linda does vice versa. We bring you the best of the best. And then all of you in the chat, which has been so lively the last couple months. I've really enjoyed seeing how people are helping each other out. And most of all, you're putting your expertise out there to show other people what makes you unique, how you stay on top of things, what you want to contribute, what insightful things Linda's going to say today. Looking forward to hearing from Sandra. So let me know. I'll put my stuff, I think I just put it in the chat. I'll put it in again. Happy to connect with you all and watch for me in the chat. I keep track of whether there are questions, issues, and just a comment. I can tell there are a lot of new people. If you want to make it easy for us to connect, make sure you copy your whole LinkedIn URL from the top of your profile. You'll know you've done it if it has https://, and I wrote a message about this in case it disappeared. Then you become the URL becomes a clickable link, and then we can really easily connect with you. We don't have to go find you. All right, enough of my PSAs, Linda. Thanks very much.
No, thank you. That was great. Okay, we are going to start in just a minute with the actual program itself. So I wanted to remind you that I'm putting into the chat not just my background and information, but I will also put in the link to our private group. We have a private group on LinkedIn, means that LinkedIn can't find it. Nothing you write in there is visible to LinkedIn. You have to ask for permission to join. And the only people who are given access to that private group would be those who are actually registered for this program. Those who have said that they want to join and can't, and want to watch on YouTube. So it is a very quiet group. I shouldn't say that. It is an active group, but it is a private group, meaning that nothing you say there is visible to anyone else. So it's another place to put your questions, your comments, ask for support, share job opportunities, and so on. So I will put the link there in the private or in the chat as well. We're going to get started with a quick 5-minute, okay? If you've had a quick win over the week, raise your digital hand. All we want to hear is what the win was, and then we're going to move on. We're not going to make those as teachable moments today because we have so much to cover. And I want to just make sure that we get a chance to do that. So if you've had a quick win this past week, and a quick win, by the way, could be you had an interview and it didn't go anywhere. Okay. You reached out to somebody and somebody got back to you and it still didn't work. That's okay. We want to hear what those quick wins are and share them with you. So if you have one of those, please raise your digital hand. Okay, if anybody has anything that they want to share. I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, there's
You
one.
mean a good thing or a question?
No, at this point, this is a good thing.
Okay.
Okay. And okay. So you had a good thing to share. You had a win this week.
No.
Yes, do you hear me?
Oh, okay.
I can.
Sorry.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Vladimir. I live in Lexington, South Carolina, and I guess it's about using AI and having a good input about it, right? Isn't it? I
Today,
wasn't
yes.
here a little bit late. Okay, yeah. I've been using AI to help me to improve my resume, and I've been matching it with the job description, and asking it about giving me a percentage matching rate and improving it or making changes accordingly. And last week, he helped me to land an interview as a consultant operations that I am. And tomorrow, later today or tomorrow, they're gonna about to define me. I'm gonna have an interview with a company in Miami that wants me to work as a consultant for them to help them to improve their efficiency in the floor, efficiency, productivity, and profitability at the end of the day, which I am an expert on using the balance scorecard. So
Excellent.
that's,
Congratulations.
thank you. So
Sorry to cut you
hoping to,
off, but we really just want to hear the win. The win is you got the interview, which is fantastic. Okay. And that
correct.
you're getting some notice, and we appreciate it. In the chat, and I apologize for cutting you off, but in the chat, go ahead and put the information about the kinds of jobs you're looking for so that we can support you. We really
Oh, great.
appreciate it. Welcome
I'll
to
do that.
the
Thank you.
group. Uh-huh. Okay. Hi there. There you unmute. There
Sorry
you
about
go.
that. I didn't realize. Okay. Yeah. I'll just share two quick things. So I took a ChatGPT course, probably like a few weeks ago, and so I got the skills. I put it on my LinkedIn that I got the course, and then yesterday I spoke with a recruiter and had her look over my resume, and she's helping me with that. So those two little things.
Perfect. Okay. By the way, as soon as you take a class, add it to your LinkedIn profile, add it to your resume, add it to your skills section. Yes.
So I have a second interview this Friday. Very excited. And it looks like it's with an organization I know people in already. So hopefully that'll help me. And we'll go from there. So
Absolutely. So have any of those people that I said I wasn't going to do teachable moments. I was wrong. So has anybody in that organization, have you reached out to them and said, hey, please, can you say something to the hiring team?
yes.
Okay. Also use them as a way of getting additional information about what the challenges might be and the people that you're going to be meeting with. That insider view is really helpful.
Thanks so much.
Excellent. Okay. Last win for the day. Go ahead.
Hi everyone. I want to share what I want to understand today or get insights about. Today I want to get insights about company. I will join a company and I want to understand how to research it better before start to integrate easier. And the second question, I want to find idea for my startup. My idea is about how to integrate AI in education. So to create personal mentors. So I also want to get insights about how to teach myself better with AI. So it's my two topics
Understood.
today.
Okay, so put those in the chat as well. Use the word question all in caps so that we make sure that we get to them. By the way, if we don't get to all of them in the chat or in the conversation today, we will try and answer them in the private group. So make sure that you join those as well, or maybe we'll answer them in a future post. Okay, we'll make sure that we get to some of them as many of them as we can. Okay, perfect. Now, as I said, I know we've got a lot of people. We've already got over 80 people in the room, which is fantastic, and a lot of new people. So remember, please get yourself muted until it's your turn to talk. We really appreciate you. When we do this, I'm going to let Sandra introduce herself and then get into her presentation. And we're going to wait and ask her questions at the end. Let her go through the entire thing, and then Sandra will tell us when she's ready to answer questions. But in the meantime, by putting it in the chat with the word question all in caps, it gives us the way to remember it, and it gives us the way to get back to you when it's time for those questions when we're ready. Okay? All right. I'm expecting a very lively conversation, and I'm really getting excited about this one too. So Sandra, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Linda, for providing this opportunity to host me so that I can teach others how to optimally use AI to advance their job search. A little bit about me. I've had a career that was unconventional, and it was mainly through referral and opportunity. And so consequently, I've worked in startups, scale-ups, small companies, mid-sized companies, and large global companies. So my background is very diverse, and I've developed just a broad skill set in various areas. Fast forwarding, when AI first came on the scene back in November 2022, I was an early adopter, and I jumped in. I just dove in without even looking, and I started using ChatGPT at first and all the available tools that came on stream after ChatGPT. And so consequently, what ended up happening is that I've developed a prompting technique that has enabled me to achieve 0 errors in my outputs. And how do I know this? I have the proof because I've saved all my chants and I validate the information, and it is accurate. So consequently, I teach this method to others. But what we're going to be doing today is using this prompting method to discover open jobs. So I'm going to share my screen because I would like to share my prompting technique. And I'm just going to expand my screen a little. Okay, can everyone see this?
Yes.
So, perfect, thank you. So the prompting technique I use is a combination of what's called ACEs and chunking method. Now the ACEs method, it's an acronym for audience, context, example, and structure. So you define the AI role and your position as a job seeker. You define the context, what it is that you want it to do, provide it with some background or reference materials, and define how you want the AI to structure the output. So number one, define the AI role, you set the stage, and get creative, get ambitious. Who is it that you want the AI to be in the exercise that you will be undertaking? Do you want the AI to be an executive recruiter, an executive coach? Describe that person as if it were a person. And also give it an example of what it is that you want the output to look like. So you also have to provide the AI with context. What are the position titles that you're looking for? What's the location, the industries, and your experience, the company size, and the time frame? How recent are those position description or the positions, the open roles? Is it within the last week, within the last day, last couple of days? Get specific, because the more specific you are in what you want the AI to do, the more specific and high quality the output. So here's an example. Please identify open jobs posted in the last 7 days with the titles of people and culture manager, and there's various other titles in New York City, New York. So job title, location, company type, work model. And so do you want to be in office, hybrid, remote, or flexible? Then you insert reference materials. I always attach a resume and a LinkedIn profile. And then from there, the AI is able to extract the relevant information in order for it to be able to do its next task. And then the background example would be the experience you have, the companies that you have worked for and even want to work for, and also your education. Now you specify, this is the chunk number 4, specify the output format. And so you provide it with a structure of how you want the information to appear in the output. Then also with follow-up instructions of growth companies, recent funding, online content for the AI then to search, do a deep research to focus on any emerging opportunities. So that is the end of my presentation for the prompting. Now I will move on to ChatGPT.
Sandra, excuse me. I know you said you wanted to wait until later. There was so much information there. I've just reminded people that they can watch the replay on YouTube.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of it that I didn't get a chance to take notes on. And we are taking notes, by the way, with an AI who's commenting or who's taking notes on all of this presentation. That will also go into our private group when we're done.
Perfect. Thank you, Linda.
Absolutely.
Now, the chunking method, avoid overloading your chat with too much information, because when you overload the chat with too much information, the AI becomes confused. And then that's where errors start to occur. So only give the AI just a little piece of information at a time. So for example, it's going to... This is my first prompt. And I get ambitious. So who's the AI? What person, type of person do I want this AI to be? It's a globally recognized expert in executive recruiting and research. And it works with companies to place the ideal job candidate in the ideal role for companies. This persona, this AI, is so highly regarded for their executive recruiting and research expertise that they have a 5-year backlog of clients waiting to work with them. They've worked with high-profile global business leaders such as Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. You can insert any high-profile name that you want in this initial prompt. Now, here is the key phrase or sentence. Please wait for further instructions. Because you just want this going into memory, the AI now starts to focus on the type of role that you are giving it.
Hey, Sandra,
Now-
it's Bo trying to help you. Is there any way that you can make that any larger? We're not really able to read it.
Oh, how's that?
Much better. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome, Bo. Thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate it. Now, the next one, next prompt, please do a deep research on the title of what it is that you're looking for or your background, your career title, and develop a list of similar titles that hiring companies are using. Use the attached resume as reference for your research. Now, in this particular prompt, I've developed fictitious resumes. So if the names are familiar, they're fictitious. And so what I did, I used AI to reverse engineer resumes. These people are non-existent. These resumes are fake. However, it created some outstanding resumes. Now I'm going to go and attach a resume. There we are. This person is a talent acquisition leader in the city of Chicago, state of Illinois. So I'm going to replace this. There we are. Okay, now remember, we asked it to develop a list of similar titles that hiring companies are using. And this is critical because even though your last title or current title is a talent acquisition leader, for example, hiring companies may use other different titles that mean the same thing. So now here's a list of various titles that essentially mean the same thing as what you currently have. Now, I prefer this response on the left-hand side because that's all I wanted, just a list of titles. Now I'm going to move to the next prompt. I want it to conduct a deep research. Now, the model I'm using, the version of ChatGPT that I'm using, it is a paid version. Now, in the paid version, I do have the ability to run a deep research. If I were going to do that now, in my experience, sometimes in using deep research, it can take up to about 10 minutes because it's going on the internet and it is scraping all websites, all information that is going to fulfill my request. But for this particular exercise, I'm just using the prompt because the deep research function is unavailable on the free version. But you can state in the free version to conduct a deep research. So the city and state is Chicago, Illinois, in this particular example. And I also gave it a structure. When you list the open jobs, please make sure you list the company name, short position summary, and the website link for the open job and the date of job listing. So now it's searching. And it's going to take a moment. And you can use these same prompts in Perplexity and also Claude and any other general AI tool that you use. So here we are. Director of Talent Acquisition, Ventus. Here's the link. And you can click here to validate that this position is still active. And it also gives a summary of the position. And here's Aon. This position is still open. You can validate it on LinkedIn. When I hover over the link, you can see the little pop-up. And again, senior manager, it provides quite a list of positions. VP, client strategy and growth. Okay, yes, conversation helpful. So now, the next one. Here's the next prompt. Now I want to know company hiring trends and expansion plans in Chicago, Illinois area. The other trick that I will let you know of is that you can also enter your zip code if you're located in the US, or if you're located in Canada, you can enter the postal code. And then you can also state, please look for jobs within a 50-mile radius of this zip code or postal code. And then it will refine its search to that particular area. And so I'm asking it to analyze company news, funding rounds, mergers, press releases, articles, and social media to identify organizations likely to hire soon. So here we go. Now, this is critical information, because what you can now do is start following these companies on LinkedIn. You can do a little bit of further research to see if there's any additional news. You can start connecting with people in these companies and start developing your network and relationships in these companies, so that when these companies do have an opening, you already have a relationship with someone in that company. And then hiring plans. Like this is really great intelligence that it's pulling from the internet. And then top tech employers, because of this person being a talent professional in tech, it's also identified top tech employers. So for comparison, let's move over to Claude. And I'm using the exact same prompts. But for this particular example, I'm going to use a different resume with a different position title.
Sandra, I'm sorry. Can you blow it up again, please?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Now, this one is for an HR partner. And this is in New York City, state of New York. Now you'll see that Claude provides you with a different output. And I'm finding for this particular exercise of doing this type of research, Claude is a little bit better. I prefer this output over ChatGPT. However, it also depends on your personal preference. Now it's going through the search. Now you'll see here on the left-hand side, it provides a document. And on the right-hand side is the actual content of the document. And look at all the positions it has researched that are similar to HR business partner that companies are using. This is valuable strategic information. And also take a look, it also provides a general example of salary expectations for those positions. And then you can use this information to dive deeper into actual salary reports to validate this information, but at least it gives you a great idea when you start to negotiate salary or compensation. All right, so I'm going to close that window. So now it goes, it just provides you with a brief output. Now the next one, next prompt. Now again, I'm putting the location of New York City. There we are. And again, same prompt as what I used in ChatGPT. And it's also searching for, as you see here, all the other equivalent type of position titles that it previously identified. And then again, it's providing here's the document. On the left-hand side, when you click on that, it opens up the details. Now look at the detail that this is providing in comparison to what ChatGPT provided. It's really drilling deep into additional research. And when you're developing your prompts, be specific. And particularly for this prompt, I also use the word deep research, the phrase deep research, because also how you phrase your prompt is essential in how the AI will interpret what it is that you want. So here we are. Oh my goodness, look at all the positions. All the companies, top companies actively hiring for HR business partner roles. And it's also giving application recommendations. Market intelligence. This is actually outstanding information. And notable current openings. So we're now going to go to the next prompt of identifying future trends and opportunities. And in each of my prompts, even though I may have stated a request before in a prior prompt, I always repeat it in the next prompt, in the next iteration, because I never assume anything with the AI. I want it to be focused and intentional and execute on what my specific instruction is in that particular prompt. And this is how I've achieved 0 errors in my outputs. Because think of it as if you're communicating to a 5-year-old. If you were to give all these prompts, this information in one prompt, then the AI will become confused. You have to give it a little bit of information at a time, focused information in each chat, because then it will put it into memory, that particular segment of instruction, and then it will build on that memory instead of all of a sudden it becomes scattered and it's unable to really focus on what it is that you want. Now take a look at this information. Oh my goodness. Now remembering this is for HR business partner in New York City, New York. And this is on future growth, hiring trends, key trends shaping 2025 hiring. When I move up, and here's strategic hiring recommendations. And it also gives companies, industries to look at. I'm going to close that right panel. And then, again, you can put those companies that it identified on your watch list. And you can start connecting with them on LinkedIn, follow those companies, ring the bell to receive all their notifications, because people who are managing those company pages will see that. And then now you will rise to the top of indicating your interest. So now we will move to a comparison of Perplexity. Again, using the same prompts, we're going to be using a different position description or resume. Okay. Now this one is going to be for a product manager in technology.
Can you increase the size a little bit, please?
Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate that. Okay, now here's all the various titles that companies are using that mean the same thing as product manager in technology. And here's, now Perplexity also provided various other titles that specific companies are using to mean the same thing. Now, Perplexity also put it in a nice table. It's organized it. So now we'll move to the next prompt of doing the deep research This one is in Detroit, Michigan. And wherever you're located, you can put whatever city and state, city and province, whatever it is, country even, whatever it is that you are looking for in whatever location. Now this one was it was a lot faster than ChatGPT or Claude. And here's the link. Product manager, digital platforms. Here's another company. And in actually looking at this list, you can see the various industries that are hiring, that are active. And then what you can also do, for example, Ally Financial, you can also take a look at their competitors. So you can ask your AI model, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, to also research the competitors. Now, the next prompt, we're going to be looking at trends. And for Perplexity, I'm using the free version. So anyone can do this, whether you have free or paid. Now, let me see here. It seems to be a little stuck. Oh, here we are. Now here's hiring plans. Now here's signals. That's important to take a look at. And again, they're actively hiring for product managers, technical program managers because of recent news. And here's the link to the news release. And it's directly on the GM website. And you can validate that by clicking through to the link. Stellantis, again, Ally Financial. And it's giving all of these various links because, again, in my prompt, I specified that. Now, this is a company to watch, Rivian. It's an electric vehicle. It's an EV company. They're manufacturing electric vehicles in the US. Put this company on your watch list. So there you go. That's it. Demonstration. We're now at 10 to the hour. I'm going to stop sharing and can now take questions.
Wonderful. Great presentation. And we have a lot of questions in the chat.
I'm sure.
Okay. So, Sue, I know you've been monitoring. I've been trying to respond to a couple of them as we go.
Yeah,
So first,
I'm gonna ask people in the order that I noted them, and then after a while they were fast and furious. So Cindy Campbell doesn't have a question on topic, but Linda, I'll try to repeat it and send it privately to you. She's talking about application processes. Anatoly had 2 questions. Is it okay if they unmute? I didn't write down all
Yes,
the
please.
questions. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Anatoly, your questions can come next.
In fact, okay. Sue, I think that you have the ability to bring them up on screen
Oh,
too.
okay,
Find them.
sure. Yep.
Okay. So what we're
let's
going to
see.
do is
He may have
see what-
dropped off unless he may be using. Let's see if I
okay.
can
So
find him.
when we mention your name and
There
you're ready
he
to
is.
do it, please raise your digital hand because that brings you to the front of where we want to find you.
Yep, I
There we
found
go.
him. Thank you. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yep, it's more like thank you, not question. I mean, yeah, I mentioned 2 things. First thing, it's thank you, Sandra, very much. It's very useful for my goals also. And my idea was to create a bot by schedule. I mean, for example, I can create score to understand how much it applies to my position, right? And do automative tasks and send somewhere to WhatsApp or Telegram twice per day, because it's very annoying to do this by hand. And thank you for this idea. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Anatoly. Great suggestion. Next question. Can the next person raise their digital hand?
Yep, it's let's see. Jerry Jones had a couple questions. Again, I'm going in order. Sometimes they put them in again, so I'll just try
Certainly.
to keep them focused there.
Okay.
So Jerry.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you very much. That I put it in chat, but I learned more in the first 5 minutes of your presentation than I've learned all the other courses I've attended.
Oh
So
my
I do
gosh,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
The major question I had is I thought during the slide presentation, you were saying that you post the resume and the LinkedIn profile.
Yes.
And then I saw during the demo, you were only doing the resume. So the first question is, did I misunderstand that? Or was that for time savings?
Well, actually, for confidentiality, I only posted a fictitious resume. So the person does not exist and their resume is fictitious. So consequently, the LinkedIn profile, I would have to recreate the LinkedIn profile, but it would basically contain similar information as what the resume would contain. So for this particular exercise, I only included the resume.
Okay. But we would include our profile.
Absolutely. You include your LinkedIn profile.
Okay. And then do we create the PDF in LinkedIn or do we just copy and paste like the about?
On just below your headline, you
Maybe
have
I'll just
buttons.
do my coffee stuff because there's not enough to eat.
Cindy.
Oh,
Cindy.
sorry. Oops, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Just below your headline, you'll see some buttons, and there's sometimes more or resources. You click on that button and you can save your LinkedIn profile to PDF.
Okay. And then do you also have prompts for how to improve your resume for the jobs, like
Yes.
how to add keywords, et cetera?
Yes, that's a completely different session.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up is David Pryor. There he is.
Yes, you're talking about like sending profiles and resumes to ChatGPT. I say that because sometimes people's resumes might have completely unrelated job titles. I know I'm not going to put my personal info in there, but I just want to have a good idea.
I'm sorry. What was your question then?
Should you, if you're attaching a resume or LinkedIn profile, should you leave it exactly as it is, or how do you keep it from bringing up things that you're not qualified for, or you have no interest in? Is what I'm asking, or is that not possible?
That would be in the refinement of your prompt.
Okay.
If you're using that in the AI tool, you refine that in your prompt. You tell it that you only tell it what it is that you want. And if you want it to avoid other searches, then tell it that. But only only specify in your prompt what it is that you want.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Thank you, David. Next person.
Well, there's a couple people asking if you're, number one, for everybody who's new, that Linda put in her YouTube channel where she posts the recordings for these. But people want to know if you're sharing the prompts. Obviously, you can watch the recording and find them as well. But they're wanting to know if you're providing any free support today in terms of a link to a PDF or anything. I just want to clarify that instead of a lot of different questions. That's
actually, people can just view the presentation, and the transcript will also be available in the presentation on the YouTube replay. So
Yes,
I encourage everyone to follow Linda's YouTube channel and ring the bell, subscribe to all.
Great, that's perfect. Second question, Andrea Jones, could you clarify? Andrea has a question and several people want to know which of the three you use a paid version and which were free. They're just trying to figure out, I love that you did the comparison, by the way. Yay, you, Sandra. I should have started with my pom-poms.
Yes.
I've heard you talk before, and it was, again, very informative and great reminders of specifics. Which of the three did you pay for? Which of the three did you use a free version, if you don't mind telling us?
Because I use AI extensively every single day, I pay for ChatGPT and Claude. However, I do have free accounts on both, and I do test both free and paid versions. We did a presentation whereby I did the same prompts in both free version and paid version, and the outputs were pretty similar. But because I use AI extensively, those two tools, ChatGPT and Claude, I exhaust my tokens very quickly. So I pay for those two tools.
This is a question you won't be able to answer easily, but there are several people concerned about how much the data they're giving into these things are using them, what's off, what is offline, what isn't, that kind of thing. So, and Linda, I'm going to have to bow out. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Sandra, this has been great. But Linda, I think I got almost every question that was on topic. There are those that weren't, that you've seen also.
That is an excellent question. Here's your cell phone. What information is this cell phone collecting? Even when you are not even talking to the phone, it can hear you. What about when you're driving? It knows where you're going, your vehicle. So everything that you even just go online, do some research, all of that data is already being collected. You have social media accounts. All your data is being collected. Now, getting back to the AI models, you can turn that off. And it's in your settings. So when each AI tool that you use, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Notebook LM, whatever tool you use, go into your settings and you can turn off training the model with your data. That option is in all of them.
Thank you.
But
okay,
if anyone's concerned about security, well, it's too late. You have a cell phone, and all the apps that you have on your cell phone is collecting data on you.
perfect. Okay, let me see. Charles, and by the way, I'm answering some of your questions in the chat now, but yes. Go ahead.
So my question was, in the past, we've talked about not wanting your LinkedIn profile to be more than 20 years of history, typically. Maybe it's even 15. Your recommendation to PDF your LinkedIn profile and then upload that speaks to there might be more experience. It might help, more information helps find better results. what are your thoughts on balancing putting older jobs back in that may give you more experience and some different experiences um, versus keeping it short and timely?
Well, consider developing a company page, because if you're in job search, then the icon beside your current experience is grayed out. And then if you develop a company page in LinkedIn, you can put all those details, state all those details in there. Alternatively, you can also craft a summary paragraph, a couple of paragraphs in your About section on your main LinkedIn profile. And then also include keywords in that About section. Because when recruiters and hiring managers, HR professionals are doing their search, whether they're using LinkedIn Recruiter or Boolean search, that will pick up in their searches. And the About section is drastically underutilized by many people on LinkedIn. So maximize the use of that About section, and also you can put skills at the bottom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, also, I did put it in the chat. If you are an Xfinity or Comcast customer, I shared a link. You can get a year of Perplexity Pro for free.
Thank you, Charles. Next person.
I see DJ. Whoops.
Is Lewis.
Here we
Okay,
go.
Linda. Okay, Sandra,
Hey,
just
Lewis.
really quickly to the security issue. Everybody should be concerned, obviously, but some people don't care. But you went into, if you have the free account or you have an account or anything, you can turn off the stuff that it shares for the model.
Yes.
And I get that. I've been told that on other people that talk about AI or show you. The question is, okay, so let's say you do that. Even when you're using it, it does probably pick up some of your info, but not like you, the person, whatever, like to put into its database in some capacity, correct? I'm not saying that I'm totally afraid, but I've used it and turned the stuff off because I don't want it to be building on what I'm sharing. But I'm just curious, do you know if you turn that off and you're asking questions and doing things and maybe your name is in there or something, is it still able to take that? I mean, I know that's a tough question, maybe not being a techie, but thought I'd ask.
Read the terms and conditions on each model that you're using and how it's storing the data and under what circumstances. And I did notice that in ChatGPT, I believe that it does store the data for 30 days, even though you have turned off from teaching the model. And it just stores the data for security reasons, whatever. But just know that this is what's happening. So if you're uncomfortable in using whatever model, then don't use it. Use something else that fits your comfort level.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to ask that again, just to
Yes.
clarify for everybody else, because we are using it and it's encouraged. And thank you for showing us a deep dive into what we can do.
You're welcome.
To get clarification. So thank you.
Okay, we're at the top of the hour.
We are. It went quickly, didn't it? Anybody have any other questions real quick that we can answer? Otherwise, I'm going to remind everyone that I see one more hand up. If you have time, Sandra. Okay, for one more question. Okay, but I want to remind everybody before then, since we are at the top of the hour, make sure that you copy the chat. You can do it in two ways. You can do it the old-fashioned way, put your cursor on it and scroll all the way up and then do a Control-C, copy it and paste it into a document of your own. Or go to the top of the chat bar where it says Lunch and Learn, and there's 3 dots over to the right. Click on that, and one of those says Save Chat. But make sure that you do that. I will also put a copy of the chat into our private group, so make sure that you join that as well. And remember, the YouTube is going to have all of this on there as well. So last question.
Yes, thank you. It's very quick. I noticed when you were doing your prompts and you were putting in geographic locations for the jobs. I'm looking for a remote role. How do I put together my prompt? Do I just put in remote roles, or simple as that?
Exactly.
Okay.
And just omit the location. I'm
Great.
specifically looking for remote roles.
Okay,
Excellent.
I'm going to add one addition to that. You have to be careful with remote roles because remote roles may often say remote and then whatever the state is.
And they're hybrid, yeah. Or
No,
they're
it's not because they're hybrid necessarily, but because of state employment tax rules.
Yes.
If they don't have anybody else in that state and you are the only person, then they have to pay employment taxes and file special forms in that state. So if
Understood.
they have state and remote, double check.
No, I've been across that. I've found that happen to me, but thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So lots of great conversations here. Okay. I'm really excited by all of this. Make sure you check the chat because we've got a lot of information there. We also have information there about how to join the private group, about how to see all the information on YouTube because it's there. Make sure that you're using that private group because we're going to continue to ask and answer some of these questions there as well. I also want to know additional topics that you all want to know. So this topic came out because so many people asked about it. If you have an idea for a topic, please add it to the LinkedIn group, PM me on LinkedIn. No, okay, so that's not working. Okay. But put the word topic all in caps in the chat. Or if you have a speaker that you'd like to hear, we want to make sure that these sessions really work for you. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. This has been fantastic. I can't tell you how great this was. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Somebody asked about free AI courses. We added some of those to the chat. We're going to add some of those to the private group as well. If you all have taken any courses, whether they're AI related or not, please add them to the private group or send them to me either on email or by DM. Want to put together a list of resources that people can use to continue to grow their knowledge. I know that I've just signed up for an AI course through Coursera and another one through IBM. So there are lots of different ways that you can do that, and those are free courses, by the way. So we've got all of that. LinkedIn group is here again.
Vamos aquí a caminar, no.
I'm sorry. Remember, you need to be, whoops, muted unless you're asked to call. Oh, okay, interesting. I've lost the connection to my snippets for some reason. There we go. My shortcuts. Reach out anytime, folks, and let me know how I can support you. Thank you all. I'm going to stay on just for a couple of minutes. If anybody has any additional questions for me, please either add them on the chat or just stay on for a minute or two. Please reach out. I'm happy to connect with everybody.
Linda, quick question on Coursera. I know it used to be free. I know they offer free courses that they don't charge the course for. Do you have to pay a monthly fee to access the platform?
You do not.
So, okay, because it seems like when you sign up, they want
Of course, they're going to ask you for that.
but you don't have to.
You do not have to. And
Thank
if you
you so
do,
much.
my recommendation is if you think you're going to be using it a lot, I would pay the yearly fee. It's a lot less expensive than going in on a monthly basis. Last I looked, I think it was $400 for the year,
Yeah.
as opposed to $50 a month, $49.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying that.
Absolutely, but you do not need to pay a monthly fee in order to access the free courses, even though
Awesome.
they ask.
Yep. Thank you.
You're
Great
welcome.
session.
Okay. Anything else?
I had a quick question. When you turn off the, it's Alexander. I have a quick question. If you turn off if you turn off the ability what we were talking about to for it to continuously learn your habits, would that affect your results?
Mosco, se metió
Excuse me,
un
guys.
mosco.
No, I'm
Se metió
sorry.
un
Please,
mosco por ahí, verásle.
sorry. Please mute if you're not talking to the group. Thank you. Go
Will
ahead.
will that if you turn that feature off, will that affect your results, like the accuracy, or would it still show updated results? That's what I'm trying to know.
Actually, it's just turning off training the model and having your information go to the large language model. That's it. So your results should be the same.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. Sandra, thank you so much. And thanks for staying over a couple of minutes. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hope that we will see you all next time. Remember that we're here to support you. If anybody wants to reach out to me individually, please do. I'm happy to have a quick chat with anyone. Bye, guys. I'm going to close the room
Thank
just
you.
a couple of minutes. Make sure that you save the chat. In the meantime, I'm turning off the recordings.
Thanks. Have a good week. Take care.
You all too.